Fluids are important. Don't try to live without them. Don't try to live without them or you'll die.
We're here.
Let's start cooking.
Let's start cooking.
That is good looking meat.
It is good looking meat, I must say. Flank steak. It's a really good cut. It's perfect for this dish because we're going to butterfly it, and then the layers will begin. The ingredients for the layering are fresh thyme, parsley, lime, carrots, which will be a puree, garlic, cayenne pepper, really beautiful bonnet chili peppers. So the first step is going to be to butterfly our steaks.
And how old were you when you first started cooking?
I think that I started experimenting with food, cooking if you want to call it that, when I was about 8. I would go to my cousins for sleepovers all the time, and I was always so curious about experimenting with different things. Sometimes it wasn't in the kitchen, but I think one of the first things that I made was this mixture of cocoa powder and jello, purple jello mix, and water and flour and eggs or something.
Oh man.
And it became this weird brown block. And you know, the next day I brought it out for dessert for my family. And everyone started eating it. They were so nice about it.
That's really
I was
supportive.
really proud of it actually. So right now we're butterflying the flank steak. You want to have the grains running vertically while you're doing this, because first of all it helps the cutting process because the lines are going with the knife, and then when you roll it up and you're going to cut it into circles, you're also kind of eliminating them in that process, which makes it for a much softer meat. But at the same time, it's just nice to have it, to really taste the meat of the flank. Okay, so now we have a butterfly flank steak. When there are pieces like this, I like to discard some of them. I won't discard them, I'll save them for later. It's just better for the rolling, because then it's like all these pieces that don't fit, you know? This should be good enough. Alright. So we're chopping some onions. They need to be really finely chopped. And if you don't do that, you're gonna have really bad dreams for 3 days.
Oh my god, I had the most awful dreams last night.
Yes, and what was your dream?
Oh, well this time it wasn't about food, it was about beheadings and serial killers.
Ooh.
Yeah, a lot of murders last night.
Every morning I wake up and I tell Dan all of my dreams, and they last a very long time.
It's really nice of him to like listen to all of that.
Oh,
Because like
you
sometimes
have
I'm talking about my
no
dreams.
idea.
Tom's like, okay, this is really boring now.
No, it's such a trooper, and I remember so many details of my dreams.
Yeah. So who influenced you most in terms of cooking?
Was this lady called Agustina, and I would hang out with her, and she would talk to me about the weirdest things, like
Oh yeah?
dogs that would talk, and like all these
Talking dogs?
talking dogs.
That sounds awesome.
And I would start to get involved with making lunch after we would come from school. And we were so close that I would hang out with her, and she was like 60, you know, and I was like 10 or something. She would always have a lot of insight into like who I was.
Mm-hmm. She was the one who knew you were gay when you were
Yeah,
little
she
kid.
totally was. But I was being super girly like I was, and like jumping up and down in my parents' bed. And
She's like, you're gay.
yeah, basically. Had no idea what she was talking about until like 10 years later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly, but it was something about one day you'll find out that you're different and happier. Yeah, my childhood witch who gave me the potion of happiness.
That's awesome. What a great way to start cooking.
I know, right? And here we are.
Ooh, I know. Here's a question. How would you characterize Venezuelan food aesthetic?
Well, Venezuelan food is very straightforward. I think it's the simplest food in all of South America.
Really?
It has a lot of Caribbean influences and South American and European influences, but mostly it's very straightforward. Fish stews and meat stews.
Koreans like stews too.
Mondongo. Mondongo.
Mondongo. What is that?
Isn't that a funny word?
Yeah, it's a great word.
And it has tripe and all these crazy things in it. Empanadas and arepas everywhere. I'm gonna start to put some citrus on the flank steaks so that they marinate a little bit before. We're going to stuff them, and then we're going to sear them in the bacon fat. That's going to give it the outside crispness. And you know, if you feel like you want another layer in there,
Inspired.
exciting, and you would like to try leeks or
Jelly beans.
jelly beans, yeah. So we have the carrots are boiling. Boil them until you can puree them. Don't think about it too much. Don't think about time. Put a little salt in the water. Whoops! Carrots run away. If you can do this to it,
Then they're done.
they're done.
Okay, cool.
So they're done.
Yay.
Let's strain them.
Okay.
Hard boiling some eggs. Now I'm going to season the flank steaks a little bit. Pepper. I had a friend in college, Alan. He's a big steak fan, and he would just put some salt, a little bit of salt, and maybe a tiny bit of pepper, and that's it. He doesn't like
That's how I
condiments.
do it.
I
You know
love
how I do it that way too.
It's the way. Boiling the eggs, making puree. What?
Hot.
Hot. You know. You can mash them if you have a potato masher too. Just a little bit of liquid. I'm just gonna put some stock because it's gonna start the flavor. I like to spread them out while they're frying so that they fry as spread out as possible and they don't crumble up. But try to make them be as flat as possible. You know, they'll cook in the oven, so they don't have to be super ready. It's important for you to render the fat so that once the steak has been stuffed, you can sear it in the fat. A mountain of bacon.
Wow. Is that heaven? I think it might be a version of heaven. A mountain of bacon is somebody's heaven. I just want to eat all of that right now.
The big
Probably.
spoon.
It'd make me sick.
They probably would. I like to pepper the bacon a little bit.
You really do like pepper.
I sure do. Soak some twine just ahead of time to make sure that it doesn't burn in the oven when we tie the matambre. So the first layer is bacon. You want to make sure that every piece at the end is going to have it. So we're going to
This is also known as the divine layer.
the divine layer. Next step will be carrot puree. Don't be afraid to use your hands. You want to leave some space in the borders for the steak to not ooze out when you're cutting. So you just want to make sure that it's in this rectangle that is formed by the logical part of a rectangle within the steak. As weird as that sounds.
The logical steak rectangle.
The logical steak
The
rectangle.
steak makes sense. I love the colors.
I know, and when you cut it at the end, they're so amazing. Carrot. Carrot.
They eat a lot of meat in Argentina, right? This is what
Oh
I
my
hear.
god.
It's all meat and tango there, is what I hear.
Yeah. We're going to put a little bit of parsley.
Can you tango?
I can try. Down. we can continue that part of the lesson later. A little bit of fresh thyme. Just got a lot of thyme. And oregano is actually part of original stuffed matambre, which is, you know, really good.
And so this is a pretty traditional.
It's traditional, but it's not, like, because they wouldn't stuff it with these layers. A lot of the layers were just cheese and eggs. That was one of the ones that I used to read about
So you
a
can
lot.
make up your own layers.
You can make up your own layers. I think the original is eggs and cheese.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you can definitely do as much as you want. You can stuff it with sausages. You know, you can stuff it with
Crab meat.
crab. Oh, I'm getting all seafood on me and stuff. That's crazy. And now the eggs. You want to put them not in the center, but a little bit more elevated because it's gonna close right around here. So you want to put them into the carrot like that a little bit, all together, as much as carrot permits. And if carrot doesn't permit, then call carrot and tell it permit. And well, let's put a little bit more bacon in here. Kind of spread it a little bit on top of the eggs. Not too much because tomato paste is such a strong thing, but it gives it such a nice pungent flavor of tomatoes. How pretty is that?
That's awesome.
It's
beautiful.
It's just beautiful, isn't it? Now we're gonna wrap and roll and see ya. Ooh, how dare I, Mr. Garlic? You gotta put some garlic in there. Can't forget that guy. A little bit more parsley wouldn't be a bad idea at this point. Now we're going to begin the rolling. Hi, Aggie. I know you don't want to be in there right now, but it's gonna be fun. Alright. Start at the edges. Want to make sure that you secure those really well. You don't want to tie it too hard because then it'll indent it too much. You can go around, tie it as much as you want, be creative, you can do a line around it. Meanwhile, I'm heating bacon fat because that's where we're going to sear it. So once you see it sizzling, be careful about it, but don't be afraid. We're gonna preheat the oven. You have to score the chilies, the bonnet chilies, and put them in the bacon fat while it's frying, and it's going to secrete some of the spiciness. It's an extremely hot pepper, so you don't want to put it inside because it'll make your eyes sweat, and that's not very nice. Let's take a look. Be careful with the bacon fat, it's really hot. Looking good. We're gonna grab some aluminum foil. So now we're gonna wrap it. Seal it tight. It's like a candy, blank candy.
Blank candy.
And in the oven it goes. 375, an hour, 45 to an hour and 15. Ta-da!
I can't wait for it to be ready.
Me too.
What will we do in the meantime?
We're gonna make a sauce. I'm gonna make a chimichurri for you. I'm gonna make a chimichurri for me. You're gonna eat the chimichurri with me. And then you're gonna have some sex with me. I like a chimichurri. I like a chimichurri. You wanna eat some chimichurri with me? We'll taste like garlic and go home with me. Chimichurri, chimichurri with me. I'm gonna make some chimichurri for you. And we're gonna have sex with you.
It's fun to say.
Yeah, I guess that's why I burst into song about it. Why not sing about it when you can?
All right. Let's make some.
Look at that. Cilantro and garlic, pepper and salt,
And olive oil.
olive oil.
It's like making a pesto.
That's it. It's like making a pesto based on
But cilantro.
You want to put avocado in it if you have them, because the avocado will definitely be preserved by everything in it, and it's so good. And this is the basic one, I guess. Yeah. Now it's about time to taste.
Yay!
Fluids are important. Don't try to live without them. Don't try to live without them or you'll die.